If I want to make more money in the short term with property, what have I got to do? If I want to make money in the short term, I have to learn how to renovate a property. What do I mean by renovate a property? If I buy a property that's a little run down, not broken down, not like it's dying sort of thing, not like there's falling down. I'm talking it needs paint, it needs some carpet, it needs just tidying up sort of thing. It needs new light fixtures, it needs a new kitchen maybe a new bathroom sort of thing. If I renovate that property, usually I can do that for about 10% of the value of what I purchased it for, and then I can actually increase the value by 20 to 30%. Because if I give it new paint, new carpet, new light fittings, and maybe a new kitchen or maybe a new bathroom, will my rent go up, yes or no? Yeah, so if my rent goes up, what goes up with the rent? The value of the property goes up. Okay, it's no more rocket science than that. So another rule that I've got to look at when I'm buying is, can I renovate the property? That's one of my rules. I will only buy property that I can renovate. I don't want to buy property that is brand new. I just don't want to buy it. I want to buy something that's run down a little bit. I also have another rule. I'm only going to buy if they need to sell. I don't want to buy if they don't need to sell. If they need to sell, they're going to take less money for it. Okay? So they need the money. I don't need the property. Guess what? There'll be another property available for sale when? In about half an hour. Does that make sense? Every half hour there's another one. And another one, and another one. They keep coming up. So don't get greedy. Don't get impatient. One of the keys to being a great investor is patience. Waiting for a great deal. See, if you take an average deal, your money's tied up when the great deal comes along. Wait for a great deal, do a great deal, not an average deal. Now, ultimately, we need to then learn how to redraw against it. So, well, let me put that one real simple. I'll just show you the basics of the math on this. If I buy a piece of property, my loan is usually 80% of the value is the loan, and 20% of the value is cash. Now, some parts of the world you'll have to do that differently and all sorts of things, but that's the average around the world of where things operate. When this property goes up in value over 10 years and it doubles over 10 years, okay, so let's say the property, I'll use simple numbers, let's say it was worth 200,000. Or 200 million, you can do whatever way you want to do the numbers. So I've borrowed how much? Let's make it 250 so the math is easy. I've borrowed 200. That property in 10 years' time is now worth 500, but I still only owe 200 on the property. I have how much in equity sitting there? 300,000. Can I go back to the bank and borrow against the value at 500,000? Yes or no? Yeah, I can. Has rent gone up over the 10 years to increase my ability to pay back the loan? Yes or no? Rent has gone up over 10 years. So, I borrow up to 80% again. I borrow 400,000. I pay back the 200. I'm left with how much in my back pocket? 200,000. What do I then do with that 200,000? I now have 2 deposits for 2 more properties. So every one I buy in 10 years becomes 3 at the very minimum. That's at a minimum. If you don't know how to, if you learn how to buy well, can I teach you how to buy a property for about 80% of what it's actually valued at? Yes or no? Yeah, I can teach you that stuff. Then when you renovate and you add 30% value to it, and then if you buy in better markets and you know where to buy, it will go up every 7 to 7.5 years, not every 10 years. What happens all of a sudden? You know, this is where a little bit of extra knowledge goes a long way in helping you create serious wealth. See, if you're going to be a great investor, do you need to know business? Yes or no? Hello, yes or no? If you're going to be a great investor, do you need to know property market? Yes or no? Now, if you really learn the property market, you'll learn how with renovation in a boom market, which is that what you guys are going through, yes or no? In a boom market with real renovation, you can actually take your deposit back as soon as you finish the renovation. Let me say that again. In a boom market, if you buy well, if you know how to buy well, and you then renovate the property, you can get your deposit back within about 6 months, 3 to 6 months in most cases. If you get your deposit back in 3 months, then what do? Buy another one. You renovate that real quick, you get your deposit back. How many houses can you buy a year? 4 with 1 deposit. But that's only in a boom market, and it's only those who actually know what they are doing. So it's very important to learn this stuff. But ultimately, you don't have to learn all this in a day. It's going to take me 4 days to teach it to you. But if you learn this over the next, and this is what I keep going back to, you don't have to learn all this stuff in a day. You get time to learn this stuff. If you want to learn it shorter, find someone and learn it from them. If you want to take longer, do it and learn it yourself. Either way, that's how this stuff works. So we're building wealth. We're building wealth through business.